Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a great week so far, staying productive, staying strong. Welcome Kyber. Hi Jaineel, welcome to our members. This is a members chat class. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch. There's lots of learning to be had. In this class, we are looking at a task 2 writing for the IELTS exam, and we're working on Band 9 level essays. Hi, Kyber. Hi, Jaineel. I had a good time on my vacation. Jaineel, thank you for asking. Hi, Atharwa. Welcome, Rajveer. Good to see many students in the class ready to learn while we wait for a few more members. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Please join us there. And for the general IELTS, please check us out at GIELTS help.com. That's general IELTS help.com. On both of those websites, we have loads and loads of materials and information to help you get those high band scores. This is our academic IELTS website here. You can click that big red button to join the premium package for practice exams, interactive courses, and over 100 hours of video lessons. We are an official British Council IELTS Test Registration Center and certified agents, so you're in good hands with us. General IELTS website looks very similar with a green background. Click that big red button to join us there. If you would like to use our apps, go to your app store, get Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. These apps link to the website so you can learn from the same account on either your app or your web account. You can follow us on IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. And if you have questions, comments, concerns about the IELTS or our products, send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. We've got lots of classes this week. Today, tomorrow, task 2. We have task 1 for the general IELTS as well today. A little bit later on, that will be an all-chat class. And then we will have a task 1 academic tomorrow. And then more speaking classes later in the week. So make sure to subscribe to our channel, get the notification so you can stay up to date with all of these classes. All right, everyone, let's get into some writing. Here we go. So IELTS writing, the writing section takes 1 hour. Task 2 is your second writing task. Of course, it takes 40 minutes. It is worth 2/3 of your writing score. So you want to make sure to spend 40 minutes on it. And you want to start by reading the question really carefully, because even with great English, you will get a low mark if you are not writing an essay that is on topic and that addresses the question accurately. For those high band scores, the information matters a lot. At band 6, 6.5, they expect good grammar and vocabulary. And for higher band scores, they expect good information, good ideas, good flow of the essay, good connection of ideas. So that's what we're going to work on. Welcome, Jyoti. Hi, Learn English. Hi, Rashika. Johanna, Javed, good to see you in our General English Help channel. Okay, so let's do this. Let's read this question really carefully, and then we'll go through the correct steps to get those high band scores. So IELTS task 2 writing, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. A lot of people who wanted to become professional athletes gave up this idea because of the fear of failure and parents' pressure. Do you think that parents should support their children who want to do a career in sports? Support your point of view with relevant examples from your knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. Now, just a quick FYI, for essays that get high band scores like 7, 8, 9, they are longer than 250 words. They're much closer to 300, 350 words. So the absolute minimum is 250 to get a decent score, but to get those high band scores, you need to write about 30% more words, okay, for further clarity. So our first step, what is it? Let's see who is up and awake with me early today, or if in your country it's getting late, who's still sharp even though it's late at night. So what do? You read the question. What should you do? This is a step that you need to regularly practice at home as well. It's a very important step. It's a critical part of learning. Rajveer says, paraphrase it. Amu, Atharva, and Kyber all agree. Yeah, you want to paraphrase it. And good paraphrasing will have 90% accuracy with the content at least, okay? So make sure to have good paraphrasing. Okay, so let's do that. Let's paraphrase, and I'll take a look at what you're doing. Hi, Dana, over at General English Help. So please paraphrase this question. I'm going to do the same. We can just go word by word or phrase by phrase. So many individuals instead of a lot of people. So many individuals that desired to be a career sportsman or women quit their athletics since they wanted to avoid disappointment and guardian expectation. Do you believe that parents should support? Well, no words coming to mind for support. So I'm just going to type out support, and I'm going to highlight the word support because I definitely want to learn some other ways to say support. And in this case, if I'm using Microsoft Word, I can go to review. And in review, I can check my thesaurus. Now, I know this is small, that's why I'm telling you. So thesaurus will give me some synonyms: provision, substance, care, funding, backing, maintenance, backing, encouragement, help, assistance, aid. So let's go with encourage. That's a good one. Okay, so now, again, so their offspring who want to. Again, I don't really know what another synonym is for want other than desire, so I'm going to, again, check my thesaurus. So I go to review, thesaurus, and there we have desire, crave, covet, aspire. So aspire is a good way to paraphrase want or desire. So aspire to be professional athletes. Okay, so a little bit of switching up of the words. And there I have my paraphrasing. Okay, so here is my original question. A lot of people who wanted to become professional athletes gave up this idea because of the fear of failure and parents' pressure. Do you think that parents should support their children who want to do a career in sports? At home, I want to reread the original question and then right away reread my paraphrase to make sure it makes sense and it's asking the same question. Many individuals that desire to be career sportsmen and women quit their athletics since they wanted to avoid disappointment and guardian expectation. Do you believe that parents should encourage their offspring who aspire to be professional athletes? Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now, never ever forget the end of the question, and here that's support your point of view with relevant examples from your knowledge or experience. Okay, so you have to make sure, and I highly recommend that at home when you're practicing to paraphrase this as well, just so that you're focused on the actual question parameters and what kind of information you have to include. Okay, all right. So Kyber writes, many individuals abandon the motive of becoming sportsmen or women due to concerns of not succeeding and coercion of parents. Kyber, that is beautiful paraphrasing. Good job. Good for you. You are really improving in your English, and that's going to pay you dividends later in life. That's a fantastic paraphrase. Nicely done. Learn English says many individuals who wish to become professional sportsmen leave this thought because of inner obstacles and loss of parent force. Learn English, instead of loss and or inner obstacles and loss and parents force. Yeah, Learn English, that's good. Parents, put the apostrophe after the S, so you're showing possessive for the plural of parents. Okay. Hi, Amra. And then Learn English continues with, do you believe that fathers and mothers should aid their kids who dream to become sportsmen? Very nice. Okay, very nice paraphrasing. Notice, viewers, that so far we have three versions. We have Kyber, we have Learn English, we have mine. They all read different. We're using lots of different vocabulary, but it's all solid paraphrasing. Amu writes, many individuals who have an interest of becoming an athlete quit from their profession due to the stress from parents and phobia of losing. Do you believe that parents should motivate their offspring who have a keen interest in sports as a career? Amu, another beautiful paraphrase. I can tell that many of you are practicing at home before the lesson, and you're coming up with some really nice, well-structured, grammatically accurate sentences with great vocabulary. Very nice use of the word phobia, Amu. Phobia means fear, and it's a professional way to express that. So good job, Amu. Very nice. Okay. Mohammed Javed says several individuals aspiring to opt for sports as their career quit this notion because they are afraid of failure and stress from their parents. Do you believe that parents ought to back up their offsprings in this aspiration, or who want to become athletes? Muhammad over at General English Help, very nice paraphrasing as well. Okay, so again, even more variations, and that's fantastic. Rajveer's coming up with another nice variation. So as the English idiom goes, there is more than one way to skin the cat. It means that you should never think that, oh, there's no way to paraphrase this. There are always ways to paraphrase the question, and that will help you collect vocabulary, collect ideas, focus on the question. Now, this is not necessarily your introductory paragraph. This is simply a start to the essay to understand the ideas, okay? So you might use this later on at some point in your essay, but don't think that this is your introduction, okay? So let's go to the next step. The next step is identifying the topic. And it's always a very important step to identify the topic, to make sure that you're writing about the right idea. If you're not writing about the right idea, you're in trouble. So what's the topic here? Okay, so what are we actually talking about? Okay, what do you think? So if we look at this question, what are we actually talking about? Okay. What's the topic? What's up for discussion, if you will? Okay. Very, very important that you can accurately identify that because there are so many cases where students write an essay and they're writing off topic. They're not writing about the right idea. And while we wait for some of our members to come up with the topic, the next point is the controlling idea. The controlling idea, you can think about it like, what about this topic? So what specifically are we actually talking about this topic? Okay. So Janil says the topic here is to be a sports person as a career. Jyoti agrees. So athletic careers. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's see if anybody else has some other ideas. I would say that the topic here is aspiring to be professional athletes. So wanting to become a professional athlete. That's what we're talking about. So the desire to be a professional athlete. Okay. And June agrees, to lead a career in athletics. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about professional athletics as a career choice. Okay. Very good. Sorry, I wrote that in the controlling idea. Let's just move that to the topic. All right. And the controlling idea. So what about this? So what about this concept of wanting to be a professional athlete? Okay. Rashika says parents' pressure for choosing athletic careers. Rashika, that would be your controlling idea. I hope that that's what you're thinking as well. So should it be encouraged by parents? Yeah, so absolutely. So should this be encouraged by parents? So should parents say, hey, that's a great idea, son or daughter. You should become a professional athlete. I'm going to do everything in my power to make that dream become a reality for you. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So now, once we have the topic and the controlling idea, we want to think critically about these points. Okay, that's your next step. All right. So step 3, okay, because step 1 was paraphrasing, step 2 was identifying the topic and the controlling idea, and step 3 is to think critically. So ask what, why, how about each of these topic and controlling idea, okay? So ask what, why, how. Now, when you're at home, you want to do this on pen and paper or on your computer, and you want to actually write these down so that you're training your thinking to do this quickly. In the IELTS exam, you're likely not going to have enough time to plan it all on paper in such detail, but you're basically going through the same steps in your head, just much, much faster in the matter of 4 or 5 minutes at most, so that you have 30 minutes to write and you have another 5 minutes to review. When you're going for a band 9, that's the ideal. Now, I know some students are like, oh, but I have trouble in 40 minutes just finishing my essay in 250 words. That's fine, but you can't just focus on writing in the 40 minutes. Okay, so in reality, to get those high band scores, and I made some of these mistakes when I actually sat my IELTS exam as well. So in reality, you have to, for IELTS Task 2, spend 5 minutes planning, spend 30 minutes writing, and then spend another 5 minutes reviewing. Okay? That's what you have to do. All right? That's the path to a band 8, band 9, for sure. Okay, Asma, welcome back to our group of members. Okay, so let's ask what, why, how. So what does it mean to aspire to be a professional athlete? Okay. So what does that mean? What does it mean that a person growing up says, hey, I want to be a professional athlete? In your opinion, how would you define that? Okay. And Rajveer is seconding that what does it mean to aspire to be a professional athlete? Okay. And think simple here. So thinking simple is not always easy, but you want to think simple. And the other point that's important here is you want to think concise. So when you're thinking about the topic, the controlling idea, these what, why, hows, you want to come up with ideas that are short and accurate. Okay? All right. Shahir Ali says handling pressure. That's a part of it. Okay, that's a part of it. But I would define it a little bit differently, Shahir. Okay. Navpreet says their individual interest. What do you mean by that, Navpreet? So you need to be a little bit more specific. Kyber says a desire to become a professional athlete means that one wishes to play for their country in a respective sport. I'm not sure, Kyber. I don't think I would define wanting to be a career athlete in that sense. Okay? I would define it differently. Jyoti says dedication on a particular sport. Again, I don't know, Jyoti, if I would say that that's the most accurate definition. Asma says career athletes are those who are into athletics as their job, monetary wise. No other business besides it. Okay, Asma, I don't know about the last part about no other business, but definitely you're on the right path. There is a monetary gain here. Okay. June says work as a full-time athlete, working for a specific team or club, doing daily training, participating in a series of sports events like the Olympics. Okay, I think, June, that you're going too far down the rabbit hole, so you're thinking about too many details. I would answer this a little bit differently. I would say, okay, so this is how I would define what it means to want to be a career athlete, to invest time and effort to get played for playing a sport. Okay, that's what I would say what it means to be a professional athlete. Okay, so that's, I think, the most accurate definition. At the end of the day, professional athletes get paid so that they can afford their living expenses, etc. And that's what it means. Okay. Yeah, Rajveer, that's more accurate. So Rajveer says individuals who desire to choose to play sports for financial support and for sustenance. Okay, why? Do people want to become a professional athlete? Let's answer that. So now comes the why question, right? Okay. So why does a person want to become a professional athlete? Why does somebody want to become a world-class footballer or swimmer or tennis player? Okay. Navpreet is asking, read my above statement. Muhammad says choosing sports to earn a livelihood. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Navpreet says they're interested in sports and they want to pursue them as a career and win name and fame. Navpreet, you're answering more the why question. I'm not sure if that's why you wanted me to read your above statement, but I think that's more of the why question. And it's a common mistake, students, for individuals to confuse the what question with the why question. So that's one of the points that you really want to focus on getting good at when you're practicing this, is to not confuse what, why, and how questions. Okay. Amu says, professional athletes are those who have a natural interest and competitive mind towards a sport. They act as both a trainer and trainee for a particular sport. Shaquille says, because they want to get name and fame and monetary gain. Okay, and Shaquille, you even made it rhyme, so you get an extra bonus thumbs up for that, because they want to get name and fame and monetary gain. Okay, Mohammed says they follow footsteps of their sports idols. I think we're still missing a very important reason why people want to become professional athletes. And I think it's actually a critical reason for this essay to read well. Okay, I don't think that I don't think that most professional athletes choose a sports career because they want fame and fortune. Okay. All right, I do believe that there's another primary reason, okay? And it's not just mental and physical fitness, Jainiel, okay? I think that most people who start out want to become a professional athlete. And I'm still looking for it because I'm hoping that somebody will say this. It's a little bit discouraging that nobody's coming up with this. Okay, so this is what I would say for this, all right? Yeah, so June, because of an interest in a certain sport, a passion for it, that's right. Because they love that certain sport, okay? I'm going to use June's here. I think it's maybe a little bit better. Because they are passionate about a certain sport. So I don't think, a young child that starts out in playing football or tennis is really thinking about, I'm going to be famous like Ronaldo one day and make millions of dollars. That might become a part of it, and it might become a part later, but I think that originally it's just they're really passionate about it. They really enjoy doing it, okay? So that's why people want to become a professional athlete. How do people become professional athletes? Okay, so answer this one for me. I'm going to do the same. I think the how question is not too bad. So once you're clear on the what question and the why question, I think the how question somewhat comes naturally, okay? But I do think that this question is particularly important for this essay, absolutely, okay? So, yeah, Mohammed, I think that not sometimes, but I think most of the time they're passionate. I do think it's extremely difficult to become a professional athlete without being passionate. Being driven by money alone is usually not enough to become very good at something, right? Because money is not always there. Okay, so how does a person do it? How does a person become a professional athlete? So arguably, a person becomes a professional athlete through having talent, through lots of practice, through getting support from their community, and of course their parents, and by getting recognition within that sport, right? As being somebody who is exceptional or unique, right? Kyber, I think you have something similar there: training, stamina, natural talent, okay, and also sport recognition and support. So there are lots of athletes out there who are quite good in their sport, but for some reason they don't make it big. They don't have enough support. They don't have enough recognition. So it's a combination of those, right? It's going back to that question of parent support. All right, so now let's go through the controlling idea. Okay, so what does it mean to have a parental support to become a professional athlete? And this is the controlling idea. Again, very important to think about before you start writing the essay. Otherwise, this essay could get really confusing and really disorganized really quickly. So what does it actually mean to have the parental support to become a professional athlete? Okay, what do you think? I'm really curious about the answers that you'll come up with for this, because I believe that there will be some differences here. So how would you define that? How would you define the support of a parent for their child to pursue a career in some specific sport like baseball, basketball, football, swimming, running, and so forth? Okay. Kyber says parents would provide financial assistance as well as motivation towards that sport and encouragement. Okay, Kyber, I think you're on the right track. Shaquille says moral and monetary support from parents. Okay, I think that's very good. That's a very nice way to define it. So moral and monetary support from parents on a regular basis, right? So yeah, definitely. So sports cost money. Absolutely. You often cost lots of money. If anybody plans to come to Canada and play hockey, hockey is a very expensive sport. All that equipment, skates, and protective gear and so on. It's quite expensive money for travel to play against other teams. And of course, moral support. Moral support, that's really good, Shaquille. I love how you came up with that, right? So that's definitely the right collocation. Moral support. Moral support means encouragement, okay? June says parents provide monetary support for the children's tuition, training, gym membership, mental support by encouragement on daily communication. That's right, June. June, make sure you separate out the what and the how, because you're kind of mixing it in. So the how would be like children's tuition, buying sports equipment, and such. So that's the how part of this. Okay. The how part, June, you can think about it like a deeper kind of definition of the what concept. Okay. Navpreet says in terms of money, overall encouragement, and giving them the freedom to choose that career path. Okay. Why is it important? So this is a great question, because this is at the heart of this task too, right? Is why are we even talking about this? So why are we even talking about the need of parental support? So why is it important to have parental support to become a professional athlete? And I'm very curious how you will answer this question. So why is it important? Why should we expect moms and dads to be like, hey, son, you're doing a great job. You're amazing. Oh, good hit, son. Good kick, son. Great goal, son. Here's $100 to go buy yourself new soccer cleats. So why is that important? Okay. Rajveer says to encourage children to follow their dreams. Yes. Okay. Chintan, I think that's for the last one, supportive in terms of finance and mental health. Moral support, Chintan, would be more accurate to that, just like Shahid said. Okay, so why? I'm going to give my idea, and then let's see if you agree or come up with something different or something extra. Okay, so all right, so far this is what I've come up with. Since children look up to their parents and excel when they gain encouragement from them, right? So children definitely think of moms and dads as their heroes. So when they get that kind of encouragement, then they're going to get a lot of energy and a lot of motivation to become successful. And of course, as we're just talking, because sports are expensive, right? So sports require a lot of time and effort and money, right? Harwinder says, because by having it, athletes don't have to worry about money for equipment and they stay motivated. Yeah, Harwinder, that's, I think, the same idea from a different perspective. June says, it takes great effort to pursue a career in athletics. Since childhood without parental support, it can be very difficult for children to keep up with day-to-day training. Absolutely, June. I agree. Yeah. Shaquille says, parents are the backbone of children. Shaquille, I would actually say role models, right? So parents are role models for their children. So we look at our parents to get an idea of how the world works. Okay, and if the parents project that the world can work in terms of being a professional athlete, then we tend to believe that and we tend to pursue it, right? So we tend to keep up with it. Okay, very good. All right, nice work. Muhammad says to keep spirits high in times of failure. And I think that's a really good point, Muhammad. So that's a good additive point, right? To stay motivated. Through challenging times, absolutely. So I think maybe, Muhammad, you're doing some good visualization there where sometimes athletes get injured, they get discouraged. And if you have mom and dad there to keep you motivated, to say, hey, you'll get better, you'll get back on that horse, you'll do even better next time, then they're able to rebuild the spirit. And that's a very important part of this process through the development of a professional athlete. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So nicely done. Okay, so let's go back to now the how question, right? And I think June's all given us all a little bit of an insight into this. So how can parents motivate or support their children to become professional athletes? Now make sure you practice these questions at home so that they come quickly to your mind when you're going through these ideas in your real exam. Of course, in the real exam, you're going through these questions in your head and you're coming up with these questions and answers very, very quickly. Okay, so how can parents support their children to become professional athletes? And by encouragement through communication and participation. So simply telling the child that they're doing a great job, showing up to their games, clapping and cheering for their child when their child performs well, or even when they perform poorly, right? So they can support their children through those methods. And of course, buying the necessary sports equipment. Okay, great. So we've done a great job here preparing. Again, when you're at home, what you should do at this point, I highly recommend this, is to read the original question and then read your planning. Okay, so let's just do that now. We haven't done this regularly and we should. And as you can tell, I'm going with a nice smooth pace this class so that we can get a lot done. Here we go. So this is the question. A lot of people who wanted to become professional athletes gave up this idea because of the fear of failure and parents' pressure. This is just some background to the question. This is nothing really with the question. This is the background to the question. Do you think that parents should support their children who want to do a career in sports? Okay. Topic, aspiring to be professional athletes. Should this be encouraged by parents? Okay, that's fine. And then my planning. So what does it mean to be a career athlete? To invest time and effort to get paid for playing sports. Why do people want to become professional athletes? Because they are passionate about a certain sport and for fame and fortune. How does a person become a professional athlete? Through talent, lots of practice, support, and recognition. What does it mean to have parental support to become a professional athlete? Moral and monetary support from parents on a regular basis. Why is it important to have this support? Because children look up to parents and excel when they have encouragement from them, and because sports are expensive. And to stay motivated through challenging times. How can parents support their children to become professional athletes? Buying necessary equipment, encouragement. Now, after reading this, I realized that I'm missing a crucial question and answer here. Okay, what is that crucial question and answer that I'm missing? So what's the question here that I'm really missing to have the right essay? Can anybody tell me that? Okay. I have to be very careful here. Otherwise, after reading my critical thinking and responses here, I think that I'm really missing something to make this a good essay. What is that? Yeah, so Rajveer says the opinion. So after getting all of these ideas, the question that we haven't really answered here is, should parents support their children to become professional athletes? Okay, so we really haven't answered this question yet. We have a lot of ideas around it, but we haven't really gotten to the heart of this question. So we should get to this question. Okay. All right. And this is now getting into our thesis statement. So at the same extent as answering this question, we're also getting to step 4, which means composing the thesis statement. Okay, the thesis statement is your argument of the essay. That outlines your points clearly to the reader. Okay. So let's answer this question. Okay. So after thinking about this, do you think that parents should support their children to become professional athletes, or they should say, "Oh no, honey, you should become a doctor or a lawyer instead"? Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let's see if we have agreement. I'm going to write this thesis statement because I have some good ideas after this planning, and you do the same, and then we'll compare. Okay? All right. This is my response to this. Okay. Let's see if you come up with the same. So Janelle says, I believe that parents ought to support their children to become professional athletes as is the best way to aid their offspring both morally and financially. Okay, I'm not sure, Janelle. Think about where you're going with that essay. Okay, Navpreet says, like name and fame, financial benefits, and moreover representing the country worldwide. Okay, I kind of get where you're going with that, Navpreet. Kyber says, I ascertain that guardians should support their offspring for the motivation of becoming sportsmen and women due to motivation and better performance. Kyber, you have some confusing phrasing there. You have some repetition of words, even though they're different word forms, like motivation. So you need to rethink it. Students, it's really, really important that you think simple when it comes to your thesis statement, okay? So you should think simple. All right. This is what I came up with after thinking about all of this. So parents should encourage aspiring children to become professional athletes as this leads to health and success. So think about it. A child who is playing sports and wants to become a professional athlete usually ends up being a very healthy child. They're likely not going to do drugs when they're growing up. They're doing regular exercise. They're getting lots of physical fitness. Now, let's not go for the other argument, which is injury and so on, because of course that can happen. But we can definitely argue that there's a lot of health. So instead of playing video games, they go and practice football and so on. So they become healthy. Even if they fail at becoming a career athlete, they're going to be healthy individuals. And aspiring to be a professional athlete will also lead the child to success. So that can be success in becoming a professional athlete. And if they don't become a professional athlete, they often will still become very successful individuals. And this is where visualization is really important, right? So why? Why do you think that I would say that? So why would I say that a child who fails at becoming a professional career athlete can still become a very successful person in life? So why would I say that? Okay. While you think about that, I'll read some more thesis statements. So Harwinder writes, certain parents have to encourage their children to become a dream athlete version of themselves. Shahid says, parents can support their children by providing the equipment, support to spending time with their children. Okay. June writes, in my opinion, parents ought to encourage their offspring to pursue their career in athletics, as this contributes to better future with better fitness and higher motivation. June, you have the right ideas, but simplify. Okay. Your thesis should be as concise as possible. Rajveer writes, parents should support their children to pursue a career in sports as it encourages kids to perform better in sports and leads to healthy lives. Okay, Rajveer, not bad. Visualize your body paragraphs there. I think it's going to be a little bit challenging to create the clear body paragraphs from that. Okay. Learn English says, I believe that parents should encourage their kids as this can make them a good player, healthy, both physically and mentally. Okay, so once we have all this, we can get into the introductory paragraph. Okay, and the introductory paragraph should have a hook, background, and thesis. And now that I have all this planning, I can do this nice and quick. So my hook, again, is a simple sentence that, let's see here. My camera might have gone off. Just a second, everyone. Let me get the camera back online here. I'm not sure what happened there. All right, just a moment. The camera needs some encouragement as well. It's kind of bizarre, but give me a moment. I'll get you back here in just a second so that we can get into this introductory paragraph. All right, and memento. There we go. All right, so back we are. Okay, give you a little bit of extra time to think about the hook. All right. So again, the hook is something that's simple, okay? And it includes the topic. So I'm going to write a hook here. Do the same. So keep the hook simple and include the topic, okay? That's what's key here, all right? So all right, so this is all I would do for my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. Okay, so less than 10 words. Less than 10 words, you're on the right track as long as you have the topic in there. So many children dream of becoming professional athletes in adulthood. So I'm introducing the topic, and it's something that catches the reader because we can empathize with it. Empathize means that, yeah, at some point, many of us have thought, I'm going to be a professional basketball player. That's what I thought anyway. Maybe you thought you'll be a professional tennis player, okay? So that's my hook there. Rajveer says, aspiring to become a professional athlete is a common childhood dream. Rajveer, you have the same hook as me, just worded a little bit differently. So good job, okay? You're on the right track, all right? Now, I'm going to write the background, and the background is really simple because you're just using what you've already planned, right? So like the definition of what it means to be a professional athlete, okay? Okay. Okay, so this is simply like, why am I writing this so fast? Well, it's simply already in my planning. So youth are often passionate about a sport and want to practice and play regularly to gain fame and fortune through talent and hard work. Okay, so here I'm just simply defining what it takes to become a professional athlete. All right, now the importance of the question. So parental support is important for both financial and moral reasons. All right, and then simply I put in my thesis. Okay, so here my thesis statement is this in step 4. I'm just going to copy that over, and boom, there we go. All right, now before I read the paragraph, I'm going to read the original question one more time, and then I'll read my introductory paragraph to make sure that it makes sense, okay? So a lot of people who wanted to become professional athletes gave up this idea because of the fear of failure and parents' pressure. Do you think that parents should support their children who want to do a career in sports? Support your point of view and with relevant examples from your knowledge or experience. And experience it should be. Okay, so here we go. Many children dream of becoming professional adults or professional athletes in adulthood. Youth are often passionate about a sport and want to participate and play regularly to gain fame and fortune through talent and hard work. Parental support is important for both financial and moral reasons. Parents should encourage aspiring children to become professional athletes, as this leads to health and success. Now, this is a first-person essay because it's asking for my opinion, so I'm going to make sure that I include that. Okay, I believe that. And instead of parents repeating that, I'm going to paraphrase that with moms and dads. And if I want to be a bit more professional, mothers and fathers. Okay, and now I'm happy with this introductory paragraph. Now it's on the right topic, right controlling idea. There's clear direction, and I can definitely see my body paragraphs, the health and success. Okay, all right. So that is my introductory paragraph, and the body paragraphs and the conclusion we will write in tomorrow's class, okay? So hopefully everybody got that and everybody saw how I put that introductory paragraph together. So make sure that you do the same, okay, at home, and I'll review some of your I'll review some of your introductory paragraphs at the start of tomorrow's class, okay? Try not to make it exactly the same as mine, so it doesn't have to have the exact same words especially, but it doesn't have to have the exact same content either, so you can word it a little bit differently, all right? You can have a little bit of a different concept going into this. That's fine, all right? Okay. Atharwa is looking for a speaking partner, so members, if you want to hook up with Atharwa and practice some speaking, help out there, okay? Anvit, I'm glad you liked that introductory paragraph. We'll pick it up from here tomorrow. Remember, viewers, to learn lots about the writing section of the IELTS exam and the correct strategies to get good band scores, just make sure to visit us at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Tons of videos there. Join the premium package. Doesn't cost very much. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, so it's well worth it. Okay, great participation, members, in this class. You're very welcome. Irfan, Khyber, Rajveer. Hopefully I'll see you in the next class. I'll be back in 30 minutes with writing task 1 for the general IELTS this time, okay? So see you soon, everyone. I'm back in half an hour.